I'm Gwen Stefani from the band No Doubt.
My name is Tony Canal, and I play bass in No Doubt.
I'm Tom Dumont. I'm the guitarist of No Doubt.
My name is Adrian Young, and I play drums for No Doubt.
The legendary group is back.
Watch out. We're gonna slap you up. It's like, watch this.
With the release of their 6th album, Push and Shove. Over the next hour, we've got never-before-seen footage and an exclusive interview with the band as they reflect on more than 25 years of history.
We weren't struggling for fame. We were excited just to play the next show.
The growing pains.
When he broke up with me, and all of a sudden, like, I had all these things to say.
The uncertainty.
I remember those moments where we'd just be like, you know, if this record doesn't work, maybe we're good.
And the laughs.
I did a nude stage dive. I just know my sweaty balls landed on some poor youngster's forehead. I'll never forget that.
This is No Doubt, an E! Entertainment special.
I'm not sure that there's anyone who doesn't know who No Doubt is. I mean, they're legendary. They're iconic.
It's been 11 years since No Doubt put out its last studio album. Coming back into the pop music scene after a long layoff is always a gamble.
Push and Shove is an extension of everything we've always done. Musically, it's kind of everything that we loved growing up. Lyrically, it's kind of all over the place, you know, kind of about just things that I've been going through in the last few years. And that's what's so great about being able to kind of document your life in these songs, because it brings you right back to that point where you were, and it captures it. It's like a little snapshot of that time of your life. Back then, the girl that I used to be was such a, like, passive kind of person. I just did what my brother wanted me to do. He was so cool, and, like, he's the one that knew all about all the cool music, and he brought home the Madness record and the Specials. I was, like, 13, 14, you know? I was just getting into high school, and I felt like just by discovering that music, it really defined me. Like, all of a sudden, I felt like, okay, this is who I am.
Eric was such a creative person, and he was so talented.
He would force me to sing because he would play piano, and I'd be like watching the Brady Bunch. He'd be like, come in here and sing my song. And I'd be like, no, I'm being lazy.
Gwen Stefani and her older brother got this band started with their friend John Spence. They had all worked at a Dairy Queen.
John Spence was the one that just really wanted to be in a band. He had gone to my high school. John was always at my house. My mom had to, you know, feed him and drive him.
John was always smiling, happy, and really was about writing music and trying to make the band the best it could be with my brother. Ska music was huge at our house, so they were always just trying to cover what these other ska bands would do.
For us being like young kids in Orange County, it seemed like we were doing something that was underground and kind of unusual.
It was 1987. I was 16 years old. I was a junior in Anaheim High School. I'd been playing bass in high school jazz band for a year, and I met the original drummer of No Doubt. And he approached me one day through a mutual friend, and he said, hey, we started a band. We played a few parties. We're about to do our first show. It's at Fender's Grand Ballroom in Long Beach. We're looking for a new bass player. I was like, cool, I'll come check it out. So I went to the show, and the date was March 14th, 1987.
You can't get in unless you have this tag.
Fender's was this incredibly dirty club. Like, you know, you could smell like piss and beer, and it was amazing. No Doubt was the first of 14 bands opening for the Untouchables. They were spectacular. For their first show, it was like, wow. And a week later, I was trying out for them.
There had been kind of an unwritten rule. Nobody in the band dates Gwen.
The legend has it that Gwen pursued Tony, that there was some arm twisting involved with the two of them getting together.
Tony and Gwen, yeah, it was a secret. They tried to hide it from the band for a while, and then eventually they just were dating, you know.
I was just in love with my boyfriend, and he was in the band, so it made it really great. We could hang out with him, and it was just so, like, naive, the whole thing.
So this is 88. I was in a heavy metal band, no doubt. Always used to rehearse at our spot.
We would just dance and play like we were playing a real show. And at a certain point, we would get people that would be watching us through the windows. They'd be like, who are these weirdos? Like, who's that girl? Like, what are they doing in there? And Tom was one of those people.
They were the opposite of heavy metal, and they would bounce off the walls, and there was something really special about them. I ended up leaving my band, and just by total good luck, there was a flyer up at the rehearsal studio saying No Doubt's looking for a guitar player. So I took the whole flyer, so I didn't want anybody else to call them. So I called, and they let me try out. I had long, curly ass hair down to here, tied in a ponytail. Somehow, like, it just worked.
My friends and I used to go watch No Doubt. I was kind of becoming a regular at their shows as a fan. I just thought, this band is so bitchin'. Man, I would love to play in a band like that. In 1989, I heard through a friend, No Doubt's looking for a new drummer. I was kind of shitting myself. Might have had my first shart. At that time, I'd been playing drums for about a year. So I had an audition with the band, and I had to wing it. And when they asked me, how long have you been playing drums? I told, about 8 years. So I needed to make up a lot of ground.
That was like the unit that really clicked. You know, me and Adrian and Gwen and Tony and Gwen's brother Eric. It was great chemistry from the beginning.
Coming up.
A friend of ours introduced us that night and said, you know, this will be No Doubt's last show.